You see this? This is my queen. Now, right now, the only option I really have is to spawn larvae, but we don't have enough resources. Well, until we start feeding the queen. Now, this is a very interesting sort of like incremental game about growing, well, I think an ant army. So let's go ahead and spawn some larvae, and then when we can, we want to get the burrow. Now, the burrow is gonna be able to allow us to hatch foragers. And after we have our first forager, we're gonna want a few more berries here. And we can request bigger bushes, please. And there it is. Look, now it's gonna start just popping up bushes, and we're gonna be able to get resources a little bit easier and faster than having to pan out and harvest the berries at distance. So the next thing we're gonna wanna get is called the dormitory, but we're gonna need at least one more larva. Now this seems to be going pretty smoothly. I feel like I'm scaling at a decent pace, which always makes you feel good in games like this. Let's hatch a hauler. Oh my gosh, they're not ants, they're like little dudes running to the berry patches. And I think these guys are actually the little spawnlings that spawn in the harvestable bushes. I can't wait to see what this looks like when we have hundreds of little ants or larvae or whatever you want to call them out here. But in most cases, these games all start the same way. You've got to do the majority of the manual labor, here being the clicking, and then in time, you can automate all of it. So let's get another forager. So they scout around and discover berry bushes. I guess they're just invisible to us. So I think right now the rate limiting factor is discovery on bushes, and now that we've got our foragers up considerably, we're miraculously finding these bushes. And now that we've got that, we're gonna want a few more sets of larvae, and then a couple more haulers. Let's get rid of these tips. They've been there a while. Now the next thing I want to save up for is the evolution chamber. This kind of reminds me of the Zerg in StarCraft in a way. I accidentally bought some upgrades, which at least is giving me bigger bushes, but don't get too close to this and start clicking or you'll waste all your money or food. There it is. We have enough for the evolution chamber. This is a new building. Oh my gosh, 3,000 berries for layout optimization. But one thing that we could get somewhat soon is a farm. And the next building cost 40,000 food, one larva, and then a brain thing, which I don't even know how to make that yet. Oh, we're just generating it. So now I think what we want to do is just like progressively upgrade our haulers so they're faster and stronger, meaning they can carry even more. And I do want to point out real quick that this is a relatively refreshing take on incremental games. So we can finally get the farm. Now, what does this look like? More bugs. What do we do with the bugs? Oh, they're like little aphids, and we jump on them, and they provide us... Is that food? Because it looks different. Fire bugs. Honeydew is currently contributing 40 food per minute, while blueberries are 231 food per minute. So presumably, we'll start adding newer and newer sources of food. I'm thinking through the evolution chamber. Yeah, orchard, trap factory, cuisine. I feel like half the fun in these games is discovering what the next level of technology is, or in this case, bug evolution. Do you guys remember that game Swarm Queen? Artistically, it reminds me of it. Obviously, mechanically, it's wildly different. What a gem of a game. So let's research, well, actually, let's get a new larva and save up for the den. And we have enough, finally. So we just purchased our next new building, the den, which looks like a creepy face. Let's hatch a thrower. And what does he do? What's he doing? Oh, he's gonna get to a bush and throw them, right? Right. What are you doing, buddy? Excuse me, buddy. Buddy? Oh, he is throwing them. Okay, he ran to literally the farthest bush from him and decided, yes, that's where I'm gonna start my work. Okay, so we'll do a couple upgrades. And now we're at, what, about 500 food a minute? And then we're gonna have to save up for 800 food to get the orchard. Honeydew does make a pretty good amount of food though, because each honeydew is worth 5 food at base value. So each one of our little purple haulers that makes it there, 5. Yeah, my only criticism of the game is like, ooh, I'll click this bush. Oh wait, I'll hatch a forager. Wait a minute, you can hatch foragers? Oh no, I used one of mine. I know what I'm doing. Now at some point, I think in all of our playing of incremental games, you have to turn off the music, because it's just on infinite loop. Now we're just about ready to purchase an orchard, and this needs a gatherer. We can definitely afford that. Oh, okay, we've got giraffe-looking bugs now, and they're gonna get the apple. Now I wonder what the base value of an apple is, because if honeydew's 5 and blueberries are 1, I'm guessing apples are gonna be, well, 10. All right, here we go. They're delivering the apples, so once they do get here, they should pop up in the food bar. And, oh, apples are worth 20 food at base value. That is a noticeable increase. But in classic fashion, each new larva gets incrementally more and more expensive, slowing our progress from getting absolutely insane. When you purchase larvae, you get more of them. So I just purchased yummy apples, so apples are now worth 23. And the more upgrades you purchase, the more opportunities you get to get newer upgrades. Tech tree discoverability. Okay, that's a big bunch of apples being delivered. I'm trying to get our feeding rate over 1,000. Oh, snap. That happened really quickly. Oh, and the queen just is doing something. She just made a brain. Okay. Now, do we have to collect the brain? We technically don't have it. Someone, I think, is going to have to pick that up. Okay, there it goes. It has to fly from the queen to the evolution chamber, and now we have the brain. And the only thing that we can buy with it that I can really tell is, oh, what's this? Haulers delivering hot sauce gain plus 30 movement speed. Excuse me, hot sauce? Is that in the cuisine factory? Let's get a trap factory. Now, this says when we hatch a trapper that they're able to find the local flora and fauna. So I'm thinking we're gonna see some new critters pop up. He's just standing there doing nothing. Bummer. Oh no, they laid the trap. Oh, and there's a local animal. Okay, it's a little purple goat bug. Got it. How silly is this? Let's go ahead and get a second one, because once the food does come back, we'll get an idea of its value, and in most cases, it's worth quite a bit. Oh, okay. It just ate the little goat, and this dude's bringing back its guts. So I'm guessing, I'm gonna go ahead and speculatively guess it's worth 100. 40. Okay, that's disappointing. Now we're gonna need 27,000 before we can build the cuisine. And we're gonna have, I guess, chefs. Now right here you can see that apples are producing the most food, so we should double down on that. And then from there we can actually evolve to get hot peppers and ice berries. Yeah, you know what? If that's the case, we're gonna upgrade our apple trees. It's funny how everything else is pretty much like food except for the blueberries. Well, and they're throwing the apples. That is awesome. I love that. Let's get more and more of them. Just throw the apples when they're done. Give us that money. If I can get 1,000 apples per minute, I'd say that's pretty good. Now with this upgrade, we have a 1% chance to produce a golden apple, unlocking Midas Touch and Thrower's Den. Now it's not even close to which crop is producing the most for us. This started as a game about gathering blueberries, and now it's about growing apples. And we have 2 golden apples right now. That pumped us up from 5,000 to 6,200 just by having them. We need more apples. Now let's get hot peppers. I can make hot sauce. Okay, what happens when we make hot sauce from our orchard? Are we gonna get peppers instead of apples? Well, they're red circles. Our money went down, but hot sauce and heat is now on the menu. This is a weird game, but in like the best way. Heat increases the value of every food consumed by +4 in the remaining heat duration, so I think I need to switch back to apples and get my money back up, because we've definitely dropped off here. I have enough to buy. The cuisine! Pomme d'amour. I feel like the next thing to save up for is just nursing, which spawns 10 larvae. So I just made my haulers more effective by upgrading opportunism. I think I should have done that a long time ago. And I just got them to upgrade and go grab the stuff that's closest to them. Once we have 20,000 food, which is right now, we can purchase our first recipe, which combines apple and honeydew. So now they're gonna gather the food, which is apples. They can also get a golden apples, and then they start making it. But all that work, it only triples the value of the apples. That being said, they're popping up on the chart, but I think that's because certain things are dropping. And overall, food per minute is dropping marginally right now. I think we probably need more haulers. Okay, but the food has gone up over 10,000. And we just produced one of the little, like, the brain things. So as it travels over to our evolution chamber, well, we're gonna be able to evolve some of the things. I guess we can't upgrade the orchard. So there we have it. And I think double glazing the farm makes the most sense, because it's used in our food recipes, which is now absolutely taken over. So purchasing combining 3 meatballs to create a brochette de viande. So we're gonna have to work on upping our meatball production. But this is one of the newer takes I've seen in an incremental game where you're like gathering resources and then literally putting them into a cauldron to cook out a recipe, which then triples your economy effectively. What's interesting is by upgrading the yummy value's base value, it will then get 3x'd in the pomme d'amour cuisine. So at this point, I just bought like a ton of trappers. Let's see what they do. Get it to work, guys. We can make them a little bit faster, and the value of meatballs go up a noticeable amount. And I think we want to save it for a sous chef. I realized that this is just another multiplicative on the existing recipe as opposed to starting a new recipe. So here's our first sous chef. Let's see what happens to this money. But we're dropping back on apple supply for the recipes. So this is interesting. We can switch the foragers to finding apples. So now we won't be producing blueberries anymore, which really weren't doing a lot for us anyway, because we couldn't affect their base value. So we're at about 82,000 before switching over to apples. Let's see what happens after. I'm not seeing any apples popping up in bushes just yet. Maybe we have to clear out the blueberries. Huh, we're not finding anything. It takes 5 times longer, and we're maxed out on acute senses. Oh, there we go. Okay, well, we found them. And they're gonna deliver it straight to the chef. So now our supply of apples is gonna go up, and all we have to do is make sure that we have enough honeydew. And our queen has evolved. Now with that, we might as well upgrade this to get the lucky combo. Foragers may go on a lucky combo and find extra bushes off of extending existing ones. And we can increase the lucky combo number. Okay, that's gonna get out of hands. But we're over 100,000 food a minute. And it's high time we get more larvae. And then probably wait for the next brain burst to be able to upgrade nursing. Now, the only thing that I wish we had in this game more is the ability to raise an army and wage war on our neighbors. True bug wars. And then the next thing I want to do is get cordon bleu so we can have multiple recipes going. There's so many apple bushes popping up. And we've pretty much maxed out our hauler's abilities. We got a whole golden apple bush. That extra money or food, we're gonna max out our apple gatherers to 9. And then we should probably max out fertility. Not much else to do here in the orchard. It's time to triple that speed of production with another sous chef. But we're woefully behind on honeydew production. But we've maxed it out. I don't know what else we can do. We'll probably have to get more recipes. So you can have three chefs total, 1 head chef and 2 sous chefs, and you can have 3 recipes going. So we just unlocked ice berries. I want to see what those do. Can you do ice berries and hot sauce? I'm curious what this does to my production rate. Yeah, ice berries don't make a lot of money, that's for sure. So now we're gonna be putting out some hot sauce, and then we're gonna go to apples. But one thing that worries me is our brain production has slowed to an absolute crawl, and that's what we're waiting on. So maybe just switching back and forth, alternating, like we did jump over 200K by switching from hot sauce to ice berries. That's definitely helping though. We've almost hit 300,000. Yeah, hot sauce and ice berries are doing something weird. We're able to supply a ton of apples through these, although we could probably use a few more foragers. I see the issue now. We don't have near enough foragers, or haulers rather. And now we're doing something crazy. Our brain level's dropping. It rises and it falls. All right, we're gonna reprioritize. Throwers are gonna be going for all the food. Once I maxed out food, we started losing, I guess, resource efficiency. So the throwers focus on the smallest resource, which should be the food, and then the haulers should then focus on largest, which should be the apples, as well as the honeydew farm. I think, in theory, that's how this should work. Yeah, you can see that they're just like pumping out the honeydew, and not much is being done about all these apples over here. And if they were, well, we'd be rolling in the money. Oh my god, they're all just doing the honeydew. Oh, there we go. Finally getting to the apples. We're clearly doing something inefficiently. And Midas Touch, which requires some brain power, which is seemingly out of our reach. Because I don't see an ability to ascend. You know what? Maybe we need to try one of the new recipes. We shall go to brochettes. Yeah, but that's not working. We can't produce enough Now, if we could do ice berries, you know, he could do hot sauce, and then you could do ice berries, and then that would allow you to do the Grace Flambe, or the Glace Flambe. And those also have the heat in the cold effects. So clearly switching over to meat did not work. And Grace Flambe is currently producing 26. I expect that to jump up, but right now we are absolutely having a financial breakdown. But I think we're gonna rise above this. Oh my God, apples. Okay. Wow, we just went to 200. Wait a minute. Is it the Grace Flambe that's working? Oh my gosh, look at our brain power. We just shot up. If I had done this 5 minutes ago, I would have saved myself 5 minutes. Now we don't have to worry about the food or the apple production. Our two most automatic sources here, the orchard and the bug farm, are producing the required resources, and we're almost at 500,000. We're also getting heat and frost fire, and we're gonna get that brain power, thankfully. Goodness gracious. With that, I'm gonna do cordon bleu. I think that's what I wanna do. Or I could go big game hunters. I can't affect these two. Yes! The final stage, try and reach over 1 million food per minute. Okay, thanks. I guess we'll do that. Yeah, we can't produce hot sauce fast enough, I think, to keep the Grace Flambe. But how do we get more? How do we get more brain power? I don't think we can. I think we've sort of hit the end of this demo here. Now, you could try to continue to get over 1 million, but I think you need to find a way to get more of the brain power to get more gray matter, which I don't believe that we can do. But now we're getting bigger animals. I'm not seeing any bigger animals. They look all the same to me. No, actually, we can't get bigger animals because we're out of gray matter. So we can make broquette using meat and Grace Flambe, but we don't have the resources to do apples and honeydew down here. All of the hot sauce is being utilized. So I think we've reached the end of what we can do here in Feed the Queen. Hope you did enjoy it. The only thing that I wish we could do, which isn't really typical in an incremental game, is our neighbors, our other bugs, invade them, take their genetic resources to evolve ourselves. But hey, someone will have to make a game like that. Let me know if you guys want to see more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.